In Consumer Watch, starting today, your mail may take a few days longer to reach its destination. The Postal Service is slowing down some of its services to help balance its budget. Plus, the cost of shipping your holiday packages will also go up. Critics say the changes could cause some serious damage. Well, Errol Barnett is in Washington with more on this. So we're going to pay more and get a slower service. What gives, Errol?
Hey there, Anne-Marie. Good morning. From one of the post offices here, just across the street from a construction site. So we'll try and power through any noise that you hear. But this service is expected to lose $160 billion over the next decade. And that's why the Postmaster General says changes and slowdowns are needed in order to handle the 420 million pieces of mail that they move every day. But there are many Americans who are concerned that these small changes will have a huge impact in their lives.
I've been coming up here every week asking, where's my mail?
Marissa Taylor relies on the post office to deliver her paychecks that she uses to take care of her two siblings with special needs.
They keep giving me the same answer, which is, oh, you have a new driver, it'll be out today. You don't get mail that day.
Taylor went without mail for days over the summer, and new changes from the U.S. Postal Service mean more delays could be in her future. In March, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announced a new 10-year plan that promises to cut debt and modernize the agency.
We haven't been funded in 10 years. You can't pass any legislation. Can't pass any legislation that helps.
If I could just finish this point.
But it comes at a cost. Almost 40% of first-class mail could take up to 5 days to arrive instead of up to 3 days. And sending holiday cheer will be pricier as well, with postage rates increasing up to $5 more per package until December 26th.
I see a bright future ahead for the Postal Service.
DeJoy has been a controversial head of the Postal Service since June of 2020. Before the election, the former businessman and top GOP donor made changes to the service, including removing mailboxes. Many rallied nationwide against what they saw as voter suppression.
USPS is under attack!
And earlier this year, 21 state attorneys general asked the Postal Regulatory Commission to reject the new plan, saying it could disproportionately impact elderly and rural residents, as well as individuals with disabilities.
These cuts, plain and simple, are illegal.
And we should also highlight the number of Americans who rely on the Postal Service for the delivery of their medications. We spoke with one man who said he already experienced delays in receiving his heart and behavioral medications, and he's now concerned that those delays will happen more often. And the advice, Anne-Marie, for other Americans who may be carrying the same concerns, send things a few days early or consider another delivery service.
Yeah, but that's not always an option. Another delivery service is expensive. And I want to springboard off of what you just talked about and what was in the tail end of your story. I live in a city, so I can't really recall the last time I had to mail anything with stamps. Almost everything that comes to me via the mail is sort of promotional stuff or bills. But I have options in a city. What about the impact on rural Americans? What about the impact on, older Americans who, don't pay their bills online like a lot of people do?
Yeah, in fact, that's some of the criticisms of these changes. It will impact the Americans who need and rely on these the U.S. Postal Service the most for their essential, medications and bills. We know that at least 1.2 billion drug prescriptions each and every year are moved through the country by the Postal Service. That adds up or breaks down to about 4 million each and every day. And the Postal Service is also shown on a map which parts of the country will experience the most dramatic delays. And those regions are the western states, the mountain states, Texas, Florida, and of course rural areas as well. And so certainly medications arriving 1, 2, or 3 days later. The individual we spoke with, Anne-Marie, said he was supposed to receive his medications on a Friday, and because of the delays, he didn't receive it until the following Monday evening, which meant another couple of days where he needed crucial medications. And so you can expect, now that these changes are taking effect today, to start seeing that replicated all over the country, and particularly in rural areas.
But Errol, this almost sounds like a race towards the bottom. You would think that the thing to do, the strategy to sort of pursue, is to make the Postal Service more efficient, more competitive, so that it's, a better option than some of these private delivery companies. What is the thought process behind the slowdown? Are Americans just sending less paper mail?
Yes, simply, but also the agency itself, which has a mandate to be financially self-sufficient, has never actually been able to do that. The Postal Service has caps on how much it can charge to move mail through the country for many of the reasons we've already discussed. People in rural areas, older Americans, they have to almost have a guarantee that there's an affordable service they can use, so the Postal Service isn't able to jack up its rates. At the same time, it has to pay the pensions and the benefits of all of the postal employees. The U.S. Government Accountability Office came out with a breakdown and said effectively it's two divergent lines, right? The cost of doing business is going up and the amount of revenue the post office is bringing in is going down. And it's been this can that has been kicked down the road by many administrations. It's really not one political party that's to blame for this, but the bills are due. And with competitive services like Amazon and eBay and other e-commerce sites kind of filling some of the gaps, yes, you're right, it's more expensive. But the economic reality is some Americans are preferring that over the post office. And so it's a very difficult puzzle for the post office to figure out how to fix. And one of those fixes right now is delaying and slowing mail.
Once you move the needle, it usually doesn't go back. But is the expectation that these changes will be permanent?
They are permanent. This is the law of the land now. We alluded to various states' attorneys general calling on the Postal Service's kind of oversight board to kind of reverse all this. That didn't work, and so this is the new reality for millions of Americans until various states' attorneys general try to sue the Postal Service or Congress takes action to change this procedure. But as it stands today, Anne-Marie, as I mentioned to you yesterday when we spoke about travel, this is our new reality.
This is our new reality. Yes, you did say that, Errol. Thank you so much.